Jeff Bezos. Sorry. Let's get some music for this man. Jeff Bezos. Creator of Amazon. Workers' rights abuser. I mean, you know, they're definitely peeing in bottles.
Tight business.
But, yeah, this is the thing. If the lefties had their way, I'd have like 20-day shipping. None of them would show up. Like, I mean, I just hate to say it. They don't got it either.
Yeah, but why does it have to go all the way to like lefties? Like, it's just like...
Well, no, because you said like corporate Dems ain't got it. You said right-wingers ain't got it. And I go, none of them got it. You gotta have the conflicting opinions.
You do. But right now, everyone's pro Bezos. Like corporate, like they're not even doing
I feel
their
like
job.
everyone hates Bezos.
No,
even I hate Bezos a little bit, but I love the one-day shipping. I'm like, I can't not like that. Like I'm like, dude, this guy is this is terrible. And my thing shows up, and I go, well, I got my, you know,
the guy is good at business for sure.
Yeah,
but I
got my Duracell batteries in like 5 seconds. I'm like, it's incredible. It's like magic.
Incredible.
It's like actual magic.
It's amazing. No. I mean, the guy's a tight businessman, no doubt. But I don't think like it is weird to say like, oh, the lefties don't got it. It's like, no, the lefties just have to make sure that they tax him. You know, that's it. Like that's the only job anyone's telling them to do. I'm not telling them to take over shipping. Like no, I don't want lefties to take over shipping or do any of that. Just the balanced, like just a very simple balanced thing of like, hey, can you make sure you pay something?
Okay, I agree. Actually, I agree. I'm like,
child tax credit.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
There's. We talked about it last time. How there's this mentality of, Amish, why don't you let a player play? Like there's that whole mentality, right? So
I love Diligent Dabbers in here, and he's like, yeah, this is great.
Like let a player play.
Yeah.
Has a place, which is that if you let people innovate, they will. I agree with you that you have to make sure they have to have rules, because without rules, it's like crypto. It's like there's scams everywhere. It's just like too many scams.
Yeah.
But you need guardrails for those people. But within the guardrails, you got to let a Bezos, where you're like, look, dude, it's somewhere hardwired in your brain to freaking work all day.
But this is what I mean when you say like, hey, the lefties don't got it. What lefty is saying tear him down and only have the government ship your personal product? Like nobody wants a socialist.
It's not that extreme, but like a lot of them are like, hey, we have to break this up. We have to break this up, like their monopoly, blah blah blah. Which, again, I see their point, but
then the monopoly thing you agree with too, no?
I kind of do. Well, I feel like it's this weird thing where I'm like, they have too much power, and then you look at China and you go, okay, China owns like 4 or 5 of the top 10 companies in the world. Like they own a lot of it. And we're about to compete globally on a we are competing globally on a global stage with the second most powerful, maybe eventually the most powerful country on the world, which is China.
They're gunning for #1 spot.
They're gunning for number one. And here's my point. Do you want it is a contest of champions. And do you want Jeff Bezos to show up to the fight of this economic contest of champions with 2 hands tied behind his back, or like even just one? Where he goes, I can fight you off like this, but like I can't like, you know, really do it like I want to do it.
Okay, so
that's a real problem for me. Where I'm like, I don't know how to think about it.
Are you just assuming that like making him pay a moderate amount of taxes is gonna
breaking him up? I'm saying breaking up the monopoly.
Oh no, okay, so the breaking him up is like, look, that's like, again, we're talking about. That's so far away. Like, what? How could that even happen in America? This is America. You'll never break him up.
You don't think so? They're like pretty serious about it.
It's all talk, dude. They're all in his pocket. They all are bought and sold by Jeff Bezos at this point, especially the Democrats. So who's gonna do this? Fucking Elizabeth Warren talking on the side? She can't do it. If anything, it's all anyone wants. I love
the way you dismiss like the left, like the left's like ability. You're like, they'll never get it done.
They can't get that done. No, they're too weak to get that done. That's the problem. They're basically corporate, and they'll go along with him. And as far as like competing with China, right? Like the question I think you got to ask yourself, and there's been a lot of these. Like I have a rip in there from Crystal Ball. She's talking about like, you know, when they go back and look at these studies where we have this mentality of trickle down economics, let the billionaire have it, that'll make a better society. There's a lot of studies, especially now coming out in America, that say if you just give poor people money for doing nothing, it's actually maybe more efficient. You might be corrupting a good business. When you look at American Airlines, right now, they took billions from the government. They were told, don't lay anyone off. They take billions. They lay everyone off. Now they're saying, oh, it's a labor shortage. Hey, you fired everyone. So what's the labor shortage?
Hold on. So I don't agree with bailouts, but I am so against.
Thank you for saying that at least. I mean, the bailouts are bullshit. What the fuck is bailout? Give everyone welfare.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I agree with small business bailouts during the pandemic, and I agree with extended unemployment during the pandemic. But Amish, the labor shortage is a problem. Nobody's working. They're making too much money at home. I literally had a friend call me. He goes,
giving people extra
yo,
money.
what's up? I go, yo, what's up? He goes, and call me like a troglodyte for using anecdote. I get it. It's not scientific, but
no, it's good for conversation though.
Yeah, and I understand. Like I sort of parse a lot of things through human incentives. I really think people almost not directly work with incentives. That's a crude way to look at the world, but they are good guideposts for like how people will behave. So this guy calls me, and he goes, "Yo, what's up? Like, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm at work." And he's like, "Hey, well, like, can I come over?" He lives in another city. So I go, "No, like I'm like, when? Like, you're not gonna drive here today." He's like, "Well, no, I'm just thinking like this week, like I can just hang out for like I could just spend the night, just hang out." I was like, "Huh? What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah, I kind of lost my job." I was like, "Oh, okay. Like, sorry about that, man." He's like, "No, it's okay. I mean, they offered to keep me on for less money, but I just figured that I could make more money from the government, like not working." And I just decided I'd do that. And I was like, yeah. Oh, like, that's not good. You
know how many rich kids I know that just said COVID hit, they're $2,000 a month, they go, "Quit my job." I'm like, what? Why would you quit your job? Fuck it, dude. COVID, fuck that.
No, literally,
like,
he goes, "Dude, I can just like sit on my couch, play Call of Duty, drink booze, smoke some weed, and life is good. Why would I go work?" And I almost said to myself, "You know what? Like I think I'm gonna go file for unemployment too. Like, maybe I'm done with YouTube for a while." Not really. I enjoy what I do, but
no, you do what you do because you enjoy it.
No, but I did see the incentive problem where I was like, oh, first of all, no, you can't come over because I'm working. But there is a problem
I have a
where
fucking job, idiot.
This guy will never get a job as long as he's getting paid the same amount to sit at home.
Dude, I remember I've like dated girls who like they lose their job, and I remember I told my buddy, I'm like, "Man, I'm dating this girl, she lost her job," and he's like, "Break up with her. Now you're the job." And it's true. They just wake up, "Hey, what are you doing? Hey, can I come over? Hey, what are you doing? Get a fucking job." You know, like everyone. No, like everyone should be doing something. I mean, I'm not saying. You know what it is, though, dude. You know the problem with this. What you're saying though is that you're talking about middle class people and up, and I agree with you. Middle class people should not get it. But for the poorest people, especially if they have kids, it's actually better overall to just give them money because they're not like in that position of like, they're not just being lazy necessarily. Like a lot of that is like, it is like propaganda. That's
wait, what do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm talking about like, you're right. Like this middle class, like I'm assuming the person you're talking about is middle class, but I'm talking about people who are like struck by poverty.
Define poverty for me. Less than what a year?
I'm talking about like, okay. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you know, when Trump got elected and a bunch of people in the Midwest said, "We lost our jobs. We lost our industry.
Sure.
We're fucking starving out here. And these Democrats didn't do a goddamn thing for us."
Yeah.
That's not the guy that you say, "Hey, I'd give you money, but you'll get lazy."
100% I agree.
We shipped your job to China. You have 2 kids.
Yes.
I'd give you money, but you'll get lazy. It's like, that's not the person to say it to. I mean,
I think people need to rethink incentives, though, is what I'm saying. It's strange that you're paid to not get a job, in a way. You're paid. You're being paid to look for a job, but you're not being. You're stopped. Your payment stops when you get the job. So, in my opinion, what they should maybe do is go, okay, you lose the job. We find a good way to measure like you legitimately lost the job.
Yeah.
Then we just go, okay, you're just going to get 4 months of unemployment no matter what. So then people go, oh, I can get a job right away, and then I'm making like double, and like for a little bit, but then they go.
You have
like,
to eliminate the laziness incentive, basically.
That's what I'm saying. It's like
you just gotta play with it.
There is a laziness incentive. It's a fact.
There is.
And people,
because once you get
can
on
go
it,
so much like pro, like anti-corporate pro worker, where you're like, no, these guys are super hardworking. They never not work. No, it's like, no, I know like tons of people like that.
Dude, I have clips in there. There's jobs that are just offering, like, remember they were saying for the COVID vaccine, they're like, hey, you're entered for the lottery, we'll give you a prize. There's jobs in America right now that are like, we'll give you free lunch. Come on.
No, there's signing bonuses. I saw signing bonus
for like to be a server.
Yeah. They're like, I'll give you a signing bonus. Our restaurants around my town are shutting down. Like they're limited hours. They can't get to work.
Nobody wants to work. That's funny.
And honestly, I'm trying to go get like I'm at lunch, worked a hard day. I go to some place, it's shut down because there's no one working, and I'm like,
COVID just ended. Give him a minute. Give him a month. I told my cousin the same thing.
No,
last
COVID,
week.
not in Texas.
He just goes, lazy.
COVID's been over for 5 months. COVID's been over for 5 months.
I know. You guys are just like, there's no COVID. This is the other thing, right? Like 600,000. What if someone just feels like, hey, maybe I don't want to go to work? Like, what if I have kids? I have an old person in the house. Should I not go to work?
Work from home. Like, if you can. If you can't, you've got to take precautions. Like, if you're one of the people, you're in like one of these essential services, like. That's the part that sucks. Like, you should before you go to jail, you should have not jail. Before, it's funny that's a Freudian slip. Maybe before you go to work at one of these food service jobs, maybe like jail, you should have the opportunity to get the vaccine or something like that. But
you should do that.
That's why I said COVID changes it up, because it's like
COVID is like really putting us on our feet. You know,
$2 from Diligent Dabber real quick. Cannabis is great. Follow me. Alvaro Flores, watching reframed recap videos will always confirm your bias. Watch full originals if you want to learn. That's very true, man.
Buddy, Vox Day. I mean, look, I've seen a full one, but it's too much. The Vox Day. He's insane. It's like, dude, the thing will literally be called "The Jew Has Taken Us Over, and Now We All Die in Iraq," and it'll be 3.5 hours. I'm not watching it. I got the theory, dude. It's the same shit over and over again. You think Vox Day is like any better than an MSNBC guy? He just has his theory. It is just punditry at the end of the day. Like, I mean, the guy has his theories and he could just rip for 3.5 hours. And then there's a bunch of people who agree with him in the audience. So they'll do a comment and then he'll be like, yes, you're right. The Jews are evil. Like, it's crazy. Can't watch it. It's nuts.
Yeah.
But this is tough right now. This is a tough one. I don't know what to do about that. Like, I guess people do get. Yeah, I get it could happen.
The congregation, please. Can we, Amish, please?
But then you have. Well, look, you can poll them. It's not popular in America.
Not poll them. I mean, let's just see what they're saying.
Let's see what they're saying. What do you guys think? Like, is it gonna make everyone lazy, or because a lot of these news reports they're saying like, hey, are you lazy? And then they go and ask people, and they're like, no, I can't get a job. Or the job's not paying enough, so there is like lazy propaganda in the community. I'm saying, in America, there's always been like that. It's like the myth of the welfare.
Propaganda?
Lazy propaganda goes back to Reagan, and he did this speech about the myth. They call it the myth of the welfare queen.
Sorry, go ahead.
They call it the myth of the welfare queen. So basically, Reagan wanted to do this too, where he wanted to cut welfare spending. So he basically said like, these young women, they're getting pregnant by these young bucks who don't want to take care of kids, and now you got to raise their kid.
You know what's funny is that like I don't find this as a problem. Like, none of the female friends that I've had it's all the guys that are lazy. I hate to say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's like it's all a bunch of guys who just like want to smoke weed and sit at home, and like that is 100% a thing. By the way, there's 100% like sort of like the deadbeat who just like is sitting at home. Yeah.
No, and if you don't do actively like plan something or do something, you will get lazy. You'll get fucked up. It'll fuck you up. Yeah, it's true. Men do. It is weird. Women are more like
people said I destroyed my point when I said like jail. I've worked food service. It's horrible, and you want to get out as soon as you can. Did you work food service?
Dude. I have so many years.
What did you work?
Server, bartender. It's fun too. It's fun too at the right place. But then I'll book an acting gig and I'll leave. But so today though I was acting in this like commercial thing. And the other woman who was on it, so, dude, she's had cancer. She had a kid. She had an abusive husband. Survives everything. And then I'm telling her some hard lefty shit about like, yeah, well, that's why I think they should have more support for women. And she goes, no, it'll make them lazy. Same as you. She goes, no,
it's not, because I think that you can do it. Look, I think social nets can be in place with good incentives, but you're an idiot if you think social programs don't have inbuilt incentives that will change behavior.
Yeah, I guess there is that issue in America.
Incentives and those systems, and you've got to find a way to do it where you don't de-incentivize the kind of behavior that you want. So it's like, if you're gonna do, unemployment, and you've got to find a way to try to incentivize finding employment again, for example.
Right. You got to get everyone to work. You just got to get everyone out there excited about life. I mean, you got to be excited about something. It's not even so much about work. Like, I know people, especially like this.
Amish worked 1 week in construction.
In construction? No.
No. Do you know that I worked 2 weeks at like a hard labor job, and I couldn't handle it. I couldn't. Like, I was.
Yeah, it's too much. Yeah, no.
I worked at a rock yard.
It's too much, dude. I've done that too.
Rock yard, Amish. I never even heard of that.
Like a day, and I couldn't go back.
I thought, look, I'm basically just a city boy, right? So my parents one summer, they sent me out, and they go, "You're gonna go with so and so. Owns a rock yard." His family friend. I was like, "What?" They go, "Yeah, he sells rocks, like stones." I was like, "Okay." So my job, I wasn't allowed to run I just started learning the forklift towards the end. But one of the things was some of these like stones were basically not like on the pallet yet, or a few needed to be moved.
Yeah.
Or
and
they were loading up the
bottom,
truck. And basically I was the grunt, basically like moving these 100-pound stones around all day. All day. No. In the sweltering Texas heat. 2 weeks in, I said, "Parents, I'll do anything. I will do anything. I learned my lesson. I will not backtalk you anymore. I'm a fool."
Because you talk shit?
Wait, what?
See, because you talk shit to your parents? Like, why did they
No,
make
you get in
go...
fight. No. You get like in fights with your parents. I mean, like.
Right. Yeah, but you're like, I was a fool. I was
a fool, dude.
Please take me back, mommy and daddy. I was foolish.
Take me back.
Mommy, daddy, take me back. I was
Oliver
foolish.
Twist or something.
That's
just
so
a
cute.
ragamuffin carrying.
No, dude. Same. My mom would get me these like hard factory things.
And you know what? I was like, I always thought it was the biggest scam because the hardest jobs pay the least. I was like, this is the hardest job a human can work.
Here we go. Now you're on the left side. See this? See what's happening?
Oh my gosh. I don't think about it like that. I just think in terms of like, it's just like funny. It's like a good observation. I feel like
it is. But at what point do you say like, okay. So right now we're talking about, there's a bunch of news clips about this.
Well, evangelist
where people
lately.
Are saying,
where people are saying, evangelist.
what lefty? Yeah. But there's a bunch of people saying like, these people are lazy and they don't want to go back to work. And then, they're doing studies on it. And then the people that they talk to are like, no, I can't get a job. There is a little bit of like inflating it. Like, I know you met someone, and we all know someone who is just naturally lazy. But then, there's a bunch of people looking for jobs and they can't find a job. There's a bunch of people who are maybe doing other stuff, I guess.
No, dude, there's nobody who can't find a job right now. Because
really,
everyone's hiring, Amish.
Everyone is hiring in America. It's like all hiring.
Yes. There's nobody not hiring. They can't find anybody. Like, nobody's looking for work.
I saw a thing on the news where they said they just polled like 1,000 people and 85% said nobody's offering them a job. Like, they've been going to interviews, they can't get a job. They were saying 85. They polled. I don't know how accurate it is. They just polled 1,000 people.
Nobody told you to take the job. It was your choice. Well, in this case, it wasn't really my choice. My parents sort of made me do it. Coffee slowly understanding the world. Left doesn't mean moderates. For people who equate Biden as the left.
Nothing. There's nothing left about him. I mean, it's
no. Biden's total corporatist, 100%.
Total corporatist, and like what I'm saying with what you're saying is like there is a thing about workers' rights too. I feel like maybe here where it's like
this one's true. It's all about the ease of replaceability, Steven. Anyone can move rocks. Not everyone can do technical analysis, though. It's true. No, of course. Like, there's reasons. It's just something I noticed that all really hard jobs with high mortality rates. Like coal miners back in the day. They didn't make that much money. It was like sucking.
Dude, and they had to. Not only did the coal almost kill them, but like, dude, even right now, there's like a coal mine in America, and the owner of the coal mine ran into one of the guys striking. He just hit the guy with his car. He's like, "Fuck you, dude! Striking in front of my mine. Fuck you!" He hit him. It wasn't that bad, but still, come on. He tried to hit him like worse, but the guy like kind of got out of the way, but kind of got hit a bit. It's like, guys, this is not. It's that's what I mean, man. You're talking about like middle class people that are just being lazy. A lot of these issues, we jump in as like, oh, that'll make people lazy, and we're just fucking everyone below us. Because the people below are like, they're lifting rocks, and then it's like $2 a day to lift the rock, and then we're saying, oh, like, everyone's lazy. But it's like, no, there's a workers' rights issue on a lot of these. I mean, I wonder about the Amazon.
Not being paid enough? Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying like it's not always just like people are being lazy. Sometimes it's like this job is not always worth doing, maybe. Because that's what
they were doing it before the getting paid a ton of money did not work, and then
they're lifting rocks.
They were doing it before that, and then when it the incentive happens, behavior changes. It's not a stretch to say the incentive caused the behavior, right?
No, for sure. I agree with you, but what I'm talking about is like the lazy dude type thing that we're talking about. It does seem more middle class. Like I'm saying, like I agree with you for the middle class, but then there's a poor class that's like there's truly like poverty stricken and like screwed, and it's not about laziness there. It's about like they need a hand for a bit, and then I agree with you. Like at some point, it just becomes like cheaper. Like it just becomes easier to stay on welfare. So that's a problem, and that's always been a problem in America. It's basically set in Canada too. They set it up so that once you're on it, like some people need it. Then once you're on it, there is this gap where it's like, okay, I could take a job and make $3,000 less. I mean, that's too much. That you can't make someone do that.
Yeah.
It's like I could get a job. I'm chilling at home with my kids.
I lose money on a job. No, I mean, like,
get a job, I
do know what one of the guys that I'm thinking of. One guy I know is definitely middle class. Like actually, he's from an upper class family, and he just quit his
I know
job.
Guys that are rich. You're talking about seems like a rich kid thing.
I'm making like $40K a year on unemployment.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
I know, dude.
Let me go jump in that.
My family makes fun of me for not taking the welfare. Like I remember I was at someone's house, and my I don't know. I'm old enough to just be like, screw you, I'll take it. But it's just in my head now. But I remember for years, my cousins would take it. Their parents would be like, just fucking take it. Why do you care?
Take what?
Well, your mom controls you? Welfare. They're like, just take the welfare, you idiot. I can't. My family will go crazy, dude. They'll lose their shit. Dude, I told you, I only did 3 months of CERB.
Coffee, come on, man. It's not lazy. It's a reconstruction where some employees who deserved a better position now want it. Fair enough. I believe that's. I feel like that's partly true.
That's part. Like
this is the thing is that I'm not trying to make it sound like it's just one thing.
Yeah, not everyone. Some people will get lazy for sure.
I'm just told the story of my friend, and I was like, oh yeah, that's weird. It's weird. Like when COVID ends, we have to change the rules. Because when COVID was happening, you have to be compassionate. You have to understand that not everyone's gonna have a job. Like, and you have to give them money to live. Like, and you can't do a small amount.
It's like, over though, right? Like this Delta variant. Like, you guys are just fully open for 4 or 5 months.
It's
now.
over. It's over.
You don't care. It's over. Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, like, but I hear the people who are saying like, well, why aren't you just paying more money for this job? And, you know, honestly, when I saw that Chipotle was raising their burrito prices for the unemployment or for their workers, they're going to pay their workers $15 an hour, and they're only going to increase their price by 3%.
Okay.
I was kind of like, it's not that big of a deal.
It's not that big of a deal. That's fair.
I'm honestly kind of like, that's fine.
Yeah. And then are some people mad that like, hey, tell the CEO to take a pay cut? You know what pisses me off is that the people on the ground, they get kind of shit on for like, this will make you lazy, but they get a fraction of what businesses get. Like businesses get corporate welfare like crazy.
100%. Like yes, I think that's a huge problem.
And it makes them lazy too, no? I mean,
and it makes them gigantic hypocrites when these same businesses are the ones who are going, oh, we've got to stop these like lazy people. I mean, it's like if you're taking a PPP loan or if you're taking one of these loans and then you're being like, saying something about, we got to get these people back to work. I mean, that is definitely hypocritical.
That's a lot. I mean, and that's what I mean. That Crystal Ball just went on a good rip this week. Every week she has one of these rips.
Favorite person.
She was talking about this too, of like, we have this mentality of like people are going to get lazy. The businesses are also being lazy though. I mean, but then what's the other option? Is like, just give it to the businesses. Why do you assume that trickle down is good? What about rise up? See, you want to trickle down. I want to rise up. Because if you get like, there's just as many economic theories that say poor people get lazy. There's those economic theories. Then there's the other economic theory that says if you give money to poor people, they spend it in a second, and then the money trickles up. It rises up, versus the trickle down. Because we do have a trickle down bias, I think, in America, in Canada too. We have a trickle down bias in the sense that like, if you're going to give someone money,
again, I'm not against these. I'm against the incentivization strategy of your programs. So I'm saying like, yeah, okay, that's fine. If you're saying, look, we need to give people some like a livable wage for working, I can get behind that a lot sooner than I can get behind, just give them money. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you have to incentivize it. I know. Way.
I'm just saying. Okay. I agree with you. I'm a Patel. So I have the same, and I'm saying that it could just be a bias. Like, I agree with you.
But how's that a bias? It just makes sense. Like, explain to me how it's a bias to say that humans are incentivized, and if you're gonna do welfare, you need to understand those deeply. Understand incentives.
You're picking one, because what happens with that, right? Is that, like, I guess what ends up happening with that is that it's just the poor people's welfare that ends up getting cut. The rich people's welfare never gets cut with that. But you're not saying that. You're anti-both. You're anti-both.
Of course.
This isn't even about you. I'm not saying this is about you. I'm just saying our culture in general. Our culture in general has a bias towards trickle down. Most people I know, even with the Bezos taxes, all this stuff, most people I know are like, let him have it. He knows how to manage money. He made a banger. What's the government going to do? They're going to be inefficient with money. Bezos, let him keep every penny he can, because he'll invest it back into creating jobs and this and that, whatever. And that's what's best for the culture. This is our bias. And Crystal Ball is bringing up a lot of these studies that are saying that, like, yeah, that's one way to look at it. But there's just as much evidence that if you just give it to a bunch of poor people, they'll spend it in a second. And then whatever businesses are serving them, they will prosper. And then it's just back up into the economy. So I'm not saying you are necessarily on one side or the other. I just mean, like, we do have a cultural bias towards, like, you just give it to the millionaire. And we're seeing more and more evidence now that maybe not. I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what's rationally true, because I do have an emotional bias towards the same thing as you, to say let the business have it.
It's weird that conservatives don't go after corporate welfare.
Never. They won't touch it. They love business, man.
Because they're very quick to go after. One thing that I definitely agree with is that they're very quick to go after the so-called, what did you call it? The welfare
queens.
Welfare queens. But they're never going after, like, hey, these guys are getting totally bailed out. They're criminals.
Yeah, what about your king? They see the queen. The king is good. The welfare king is okay, but the welfare queen is a fucking.
That's weird,
whore.
Isn't it?
They're like the welfare queen's out there like a whore, making babies. There's young bucks making babies in these welfare queen. Like, they're saying queen like, I'm a welfare queen. I want free money from the government. Dude, I know people. I'm talking about in my family, people are like, oh, women just, dude, the woman today who has kids herself, she goes, yeah, you know how many women, we know what they'll do, these women? They'll just keep having kids and take free money from the government. Okay, that's one way to see it. But the other way to see it is like, hey, they made a kid. Let's just take care of the kid. Like, why are we treating it like, she just wants free money? Maybe she did a bunch of work. Our culture has no way of paying for it. So we just give them a little bit of cash. I mean, what's the big deal? They have a baby in the house. Like, it's a child. Are we already going to be like, hey, man, what are you, communist? To the baby? Like, it's like, you just feed the kid, right? I don't know. Doesn't seem like... And then overall as a culture, I think it's better. It'll lift more people out of poverty and everything. Like, I don't know. I think it makes sense. And I think there's just been so much propaganda disparaging them. So it's hard to tell what's right and what's wrong, There has been a lot of brainwash. Even with all your healthcare stuff over there. It's like communism's coming, stuff like that. It's like, guys, just do it rationally. It'll be better.
But then sometimes I look at Canada and I'm like, dude, Y'all's taxes ridiculous.
True. Yeah. Okay.
What are your taxes
well,
over
Europe
there?
is. They're not that different, actually. To be honest, I don't think are they that
What?
different? I don't know. Compared to America.
What are they?
The corporate
Do y'all
is
get
like
free college?
No, we pay like I think it's heavily subsidized, and then it ends up being like 8,000 or 10,000 a year. But see, again, that's not like that's one of those myths of like American like capitalism just makes everything cheaper. College is way more expensive because of capitalism, because they got a capitalist incentive in there, and so now they just charge $50,000 a year.
But no, I'm just asking, what are your taxes? Like, do you like what? Like let's say you make like 80,000 a year. What are your taxes? How much of that do you keep?
It's pretty high. It's like 40%. I think it goes to like 40% over 100,000. I don't know, because I don't do my taxes like a regular person. I do everything like a business. Corporate tax though is only like 4% higher than America. It's not that much different. Like all the loopholes that these guys get away with. When I ask business people in Canada, they're like, "Yeah, we do all the same shit here." It's like almost all the same shit. We do it in Canada. It's the corporate effective tax rate is like at 4 or 6% higher. That's it.
Yeah,
someone says 33%.
Interesting.
15 to 45%.
Yeah,
it's pretty high. And then everything you buy is taxed too in Canada. Like everywhere you go, everything is taxed too. So there's that tax. Yeah, that's true. So taxes are higher, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, that sucks. Taxes feel bad.
Taxes do feel bad, but then like
especially
with healthcare, you're spending more money.
I know some people in like California right now. Oh, they have like an 8% like state tax.
But isn't healthcare over there just way more expensive than Canada? Like if overall, what the percentage of GDP spent? Because America now has 5 bureaucracies doing their healthcare. Canada has 1 bureaucracy across the board. America has Medicare, Medicaid, some veterans program, Obamacare, and another one. So we're talking about 5 bureaucracies just to be like, oh, we don't want to do
our
that.
Our healthcare system's a mess. Don't point out the obvious. The way to go for
I know, but I'm just saying like that too comes from like this propaganda. I feel like.
Yo, $5 Zim Zim. Yeah, watching y'all during my minimum wage job restores the value I'm robbed of. Love you, Habibis. Yo, what's your job? Zim Zim, tell us.
Zim Zim, what's your job?
Alec, $5. I don't support safety nets that keep people out of work. However, I'd rather pay money to food stamps knowing that some people abuse it, but also some require it. I think that's a great point. That's generally how I try to view most social programs.
Yeah,
it's only because the preponderance of businesses that I've watched like literally not have enough workers to open. And like, guys,
yeah.
One of them is McDonald's, so but a lot of them are like just small mom and pop shops. I know the joke is we'll just pay people more. There's a lot of businesses who cannot pay people more, especially coming out of a pandemic. They can't just magically go, oh, we're just going to turn on the buck, faucet and just like, do. I think there's a whole thing of like, yeah, should Walmart pay more? Sure. But it's not the same for Walmart as it is for like, the general store down your road. So I don't know. And it's just been frustrating to watch that. So I'm all heated up about it, but fair enough. I
agree with you. And
Alec, I like that point.
That is a good point, Alec. And like, dude, you know what's sad, actually really sad, is how small businesses, mom and pops, get lumped in with Walmart. And I'm talking about
it's so sick, dude.
It's so sick.
It's so sick. The Small Business Association pisses me off. You want to talk about a scam? Those guys are little robbers.
Who are they robbing? The small business?
There are billion-dollar companies that are considered small businesses under the Small Business Association. It's such a scam. And then they go get all the contracts that are supposed to be given to the small businesses. And you're like, what is the point of this? I thought we were helping out mom and pops. No, we're just helping out the like mid to large size businesses who make it a business to stay in the classification of small business. It's like, this is so stupid. It's so messed up.
When I speak out against a Bezos, why does a small business take offense?
I
don't mean you. I don't mean you. I don't mean, and also, why do you as a small business look at Bezos and say, let a player play? Because they do that too, man. The business community, they want to support this. They want to say, let a player play more than anyone. They're like, of course, dude. The opening line of the Sanders video is this guy who works at Amazon. He goes, at Amazon, they want to pay you as little as possible and get as much work as they can out of you. And I'm like, I can't send this to anyone. I can't send this video to anyone. They will laugh. They'll say, what is this nonsense? Of course, that's what a business does.
Right.
Who gives a shit? But you are a small business. So you doing that is righteous. It's fair, even. Bezos doing it, it's some next level fucked up shit, man.
Right, because he actually has the money to pay people. He's just stacking profits for the sake of
he has the money
profits.
to put trackers on you. They're getting, dude. The best is though, even Bernie Sanders like, it takes a 30-minute break, 10 minutes to get to the break room, and 10 minutes to get back. They're screwing you like that. That's that's a lot, and that's not a mom and pop store. Because a mom and pop store, you say fuck you, and they go, yeah, you're right, Billy. They don't say yeah, you're right, but they go, yeah, okay, you can just go take your break over there. Like, it's not this shit, dude. Yeah. Sorry, your designated break area is 20 minutes away.
No, I completely agree. I completely agree. It's like they're two different animals. I'm a scammer. Gonna rip you off, take you down.